Lamar Jackson is once again playing like an MVP. There is a great chance that Jackson could win his second straight MVP and third altogether. Jackson and the Ravens are one of the best teams in the NFL right now, and it's looking like the Ravens will take on the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game a second straight year. Jackson right now is the best quarterback in the NFL and has the stats to back it up. The Ravens are currently 6-3, and Jackson has thrown 20 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions and is on pace to pass for over 4,000 yards and run for 1,000. No other quarterback in the history of the NFL has ever done that. But Jackson's running has not been the story, it's been his passing. He is in 7th with the most passing yards with 2,379 yards. In the win versus the Broncos, Jackson became the only quarterback in history to have his 6th perfect passer rating game, where he went 6 of 19 for 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. But in this video, we will talk about how he's still proving the doubters wrong, and why everyone who still does not believe in him is looking like a clown or is just trolling. When Lamar Jackson won MVP last season, many did not agree with it. Despite having over 4,400 all-purpose yards and passing for 24 touchdowns, fans thought that other players were more worthy of it. However, many did not watch Ravens games because unfortunately the NFL only gave the Ravens 4 primetime games, and their first one wasn't until week 11 of last season. They also did not account that his stats were not jaw-dropping, as most of the time when the Ravens got in the red zone, they were not passing and would just run for the most part, which is why he only had 24 passing touchdowns. He also had many drops in the end zone, which once again is the reason he did not have more passing scores. Jackson also has better weapons this year, but that wasn't quite the case last year, especially after Mark Andrews went down with an ACL tear in week 11. Jackson, however, continued to play well as he threw 5 touchdowns multiple times last season, which he was against the Lions and Dolphins, which were huge wins. After the AFC Championship game, he fell to the Chiefs, but was blamed for the loss. Despite claiming his second MVP, he was still doubted and many thought he would take a step back. Many also thought he still couldn't pass, which is just mind-boggling. I'm thinking of someone, but I won't mention them. I've actually mentioned them before, but I will just put a graphic on here. The Ravens had a lot to prove after last season, which is why they signed Derrick Henry. When the Ravens started the season, it was a bit of a slow start. They fell in a heartbreaker to the Chiefs and then were upset by the Raiders in the final seconds. But despite many thinking the ship was sinking, it was just a bit off course. Because the Ravens would win 5 straight games, including beating the Bills, Commanders, and Bucks handily. In the first 9 weeks of the season, no one has been better than Lamar Jackson. He has thrown 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2,379 passing yards, and a passer rating of 120.7, which leads the NFL. Derrick Henry has also been the best running back in the league with over 1,000 yards rushing already on the season. Their offense has been the best, as well as they are ranked number 1 in the NFL while averaging 31 points per game and over 440 yards per contest. Jackson is averaging 254 yards per game, along with rushing close to over 200 yards per game. With many still doubting Jackson, it just doesn't make sense because we were just scratching the surface of how great Jackson has been, along with the Ravens as a whole. Lamar Jackson's season so far has been a testament to his resilience, continuing to prove doubters wrong, who question his passing skills, consistency, and durability. Here's how he's adapted the critics at bay. Jackson has refined his mechanics, improving his pocket presence and decision-making. His accuracy has noticeably improved, and he's spreading the ball well across multiple targets. In his 20 touchdown passes, he's thrown to 9 different receivers, which is Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar, Patrick Ricard, Justice Hill, and Derrick Henry. I think I mentioned all of them. If not, I'm probably forgetting at least one, but there's been 9 Ravens players who have had at least 1 receiving touchdown. His passing game has kept defenses honest, making it hard to stack the box against him. You can also notice that Jackson has improved a lot recently, as most of the time when he sees a lane, instead of running like he did early in his career, he tries to find the open man with his arms and not his legs. Lamar's leadership has been critical. He's silencing the doubters with his ability to step up in crucial moments and lead Baltimore to wins. His calm demeanor in high-pressure situation has earned him respect around the league. When the season started, Jackson lost 15 pounds as he is down to 200, so he could be faster and more agile. His offseason focus was on conditioning that has helped him stay healthy. With the Ravens in serious playoff contention, Jackson has been in the MVP conversation, MV3, something many critics thought he wouldn't be able to sustain. His numbers and impact speak volume about his elite status in the league. Lamar's adaptability and relentless work ethic are keeping him relevant. As long as he keeps delivering, he'll continue silencing the doubters. Lamar has built great chemistry with his receivers, especially Zay Flowers, who was turning into a top #1 wideout. He could also make his first Pro Bowl and maybe even become an All-Pro selection. This cohesion has helped him evaluate the Ravens' passing game, which used to be a weak spot. His trust in pass catchers such as Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and Nelson Aguilar have allowed him to be more aggressive, leading to big plays downfield. The Ravens revamped their offense in 2023 with the hiring of Todd Monken. It was to maximize Jackson's talent as both a passer and runner, with more emphasis through the air. The team's play calling has diversified, giving him more opportunities to make plays that suit his strengths, particularly on play action and designed rollouts. Also, when they switched from Greg Roman to Todd Monken, it helped Jackson tremendously, as Roman was more of a running coordinator and did not have a very unique passing game. Whereas Monken focused more on the passing, and then you add Derrick Henry, which gives the Louisville product more help, and they don't have to rely on Jackson in the running game as well. Lamar is also focused on limiting the turnovers. He wasn't a turnover machine really at all in his career, but in 2021 he struggled a bit, but he has definitely improved since then. His ability to take care of the football while still being aggressive has translated into fewer giveaways, contributing directly to the Ravens' success in close games. Lamar's offseason focus on footwork and quicker release has paid off. When he's getting the ball out faster, which minimizes sacks, which also helps him avoid hits, preserving his health and allowing him to keep pushing the offense forward. Jackson is also one of the prettiest sidearms in the league. When he releases the ball, it does not seem as if he is using much force. Just basically flicks his wrist and the ball is already out and into one of his pass catchers such as Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, or Isaiah Likely. Defenses have always struggled to prepare for Lamar's unique combination abilities such as passing and his rare speed, even in his 7th season as a starter. His athleticism and ability to escape pressure still makes him one of the most hardest quarterbacks to contain, giving him a distinct edge. NFC teams always seem to struggle against Jackson, as the 2016 Heisman winner is 23-1 versus non-AFC teams. Jackson's understanding of defenses and his overall football IQ have grown tremendously. He's reading defenses at a higher level, recognizing blitzes and pre-snap coverages more effectively, which allows him to make quick, smart adjustments. Also, with the offense for Todd Monken, he can change plays if he wants to, which he was not able to with Greg Roman. Oddly enough, some critics still doubt him each year, which fuels his competitive fire. He's turned his underestimation into motivation, consistently working to outperform expectations and remind people he's an elite quarterback. Each of those aspects combine to make Lamar Jackson a force, proving he's the NFL's most elite QB. When the Ravens drafted Jackson back in 2018, they got him with the final pick in the draft for the first round. It's amazing how many teams thought that Jackson should be a quarterback and switched to either running back or wide receiver. Also in the 2018 draft, he has been the best player, and the quarterbacks that were drafted before him were Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, and Josh Rosen. The only quarterback on this list that maybe has an argument is Allen. Mayfield is good and Darnold is playing solid, but we all know that Jackson is better and he's the king of this class. Jackson has been the full-time starter for the Ravens since 2019, and in the first season he won MVP unanimously. He joined Tom Brady as the only unanimous MVP in league history. In 2023, he could have won it unanimously a second time, which would have been the first time in NFL history. However, Dak Prescott received the other vote. In his career, Jackson is 64-22. Among the quarterbacks that are active, he has the 12th most wins. However, since entering the league in 2018, the only one that is higher is Josh Allen, who has played in more games. Josh Allen has played in 102, compared to Jackson, who has played in 86 games. Jackson also has a tremendous record in primetime games, as he is 17-5. According to research, Jackson has the best primetime record of any quarterback since the merger in 1970. In 2023, Jackson signed a massive contract with the Ravens, making him one of the highest paid QBs in the NFL at the time. The deal was initially met with skepticism as critics questioned his durability, consistency, and passing abilities. However, in both 2023 and 2024, Jackson's exceptional play has flipped the narrative, making his contract seem like a bargain. Here's why. Jackson's value isn't just in the passing, but in his ability to be one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the NFL. Few players impact the game as much as Jackson does in both phases, and the contract now seems fair considering his unique skills. Since Jackson's deal, the market for elite quarterbacks has only continued to rise, with other quarterbacks not quite as good as Jackson signing even bigger contracts, which are Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Dak Prescott. None of those quarterbacks are even close to Jackson. What looked like a steep deal in 2023 now appears modest compared to the newer contracts in 2024. The Ravens are seeing direct results in the win column, which is what they paid for. Jackson's leadership and play have elevated the entire team, turning Baltimore into a top contender. For a franchise quarterback who can put his team in championship contention, the price looks like a smart investment. Jackson brings energy and excitement to the Ravens, impacting the fan base and generating significant revenue and attention. His popularity and play style make him a franchise cornerstone, which adds value beyond the field. The Ravens didn't just pay for stats, though. They paid for Jackson's resilience, leadership, and growth as a player. His ability to elevate his game season after season while staying committed to improvement has only reinforced why Baltimore was right to bet big on it. With Lamar Jackson performing at an elite level in 2024, his contract now looks like a bargain, both for what he brings to the Ravens on the field and his overall impact on the franchise. Now, there are a few criticisms Jackson still has, which is in the postseason. Criticism of Lamar Jackson's postseason record often ignores a crucial reality. The AFC recently has been dominated by one quarterback, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes and the Chiefs have been the AFC's gatekeeper the last few years since Mahomes became the starter, consistently setting a high bar and knocking out several great quarterbacks along the way. Jackson, like others, has found himself up against a dynasty team in Kansas City, making playoff success a challenge for even the league's best player. Jackson's playoff journey also reflects the context of his opponents and the situations he's faced. Unlike many quarterbacks who stepped into balanced teams with established defense and strong offensive support, Jackson has had to carry a heavier load. Early in his career, the Ravens' offense was limited by inconsistent receiving weapons, and their defense, while solid, wasn't always championship caliber. As a result, Jackson's postseason losses haven't been simply because of individual performance, but often due to the Ravens' lack of depth in supporting areas, especially when facing teams with competitive rosters like Kansas City. And of course, I'm going to have to say it, but the Chiefs normally get better calls from the refs. Also, the Ravens failed to run the ball as much even when they found success. Additionally, postseason performance can be misleading as a measure of a quarterback's career impact and ability. Some legendary quarterbacks such as Peyton Manning struggled to achieve playoff success early in his career, but went on to change the narrative as their team matured and strengthened. Jackson's playoff losses tend to overshadow the fact that he's often been the reason the Ravens reached the postseason in the first place. His passing abilities and growth as a leader have elevated Baltimore to contention year after year, something that goes beyond just his playoff record. His narrative is similar to those of other great quarterbacks who faced fierce competition early but went on to find postseason success as the team around them evolved. As Jackson and the Ravens continue building a more balanced roster, there's a real chance his postseason fortunes will change. Given his ongoing development and the team's commitment to improving around him, it's reasonable to expect Jackson to eventually break through the competitive AFC and silence his criticism, much like other quarterbacks who have overcome early playoff struggles. Last season, the Ravens made the AFC Championship game for the first time in 11 years. Jackson also won his first playoff game in 3 years when he dominated a very good Texans team. Even though he fell short, he made it farthest in his career. Every year he has made the postseason, he has gotten closer. In 2018, he fell to the Chargers in the first round. Then the next year, he made it all the way to the divisional round, where they were upset by the Titans. The next year, he got revenge and defeated the Titans for his first playoff win. In 2024, when he was healthy once again, he made it all the way to the AFC Championship game by beating the Texans handily. Now, if you look at all that, why is he still being doubted? Well, I think most of it, if not all of it, is hate and fans being afraid of a different type of quarterback. A man once said, people fear what they don't understand and envy what they can't achieve. Let me know in the comments what you think, and once again, don't forget to subscribe, follow, and like the vid for more great content like this.
Sportstown.